Why do some people make success look effortless while you can't stick to a habit for a week? Hi, I'm Sia, and today I'm sharing the 7 success habits that I've learned from studying very successful people. The difference between them and you, it isn't willpower. It's not discipline. It's that they figured out how to work with who they are, not against it. Here's exactly what they do differently. Habit number 1, the 1-minute rule. The most successful people follow one simple rule. Always continue. Even if it's just for 1 minute. That's it. 1 minute. You can't meditate for 20 minutes? Do it for 1 minute. Don't feel like exercising? Do 1 push-up. Can't write that chapter? Write 1 sentence. Here's what's strange. That 1 minute almost always turns into more. But even if it doesn't, you've kept your promise to yourself, and that's essential. So picture this. You're lying in bed, dreading your workout, but instead of skipping it entirely, you do 1 squat. Suddenly you're awake. You do 5 more, then 10, maybe even more after that. And before you know it, you've done a full workout. Do this tomorrow with whatever habit you've been struggling with. Just 1 minute. Try this for 30 days and you'll thank me later. By the way, I put all 7 habits in the description box below so you can save them to your phone. Habit number 2, let's look at what I call the morning question. In the morning, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, ask, what's the one thing that will move me forward today? Not 10 things, 1 thing. Commit it to memory. Make it your focus. So instead of waking up, mind already racing with your to-do list, emails to answer, calls to make, you pause and you ask, what's the one thing that will move me forward today? Maybe it's finish the proposal that could change your life. Now everything else becomes background noise. So habit number 3, you need to treat your life like it's the most important thing that exists, because it is. Your life is the only irreplaceable thing you'll ever own. It's your masterpiece, your one shot. Yet most people treat their lives like a rough draft. They'll get another chance to do it better. Successful people treat their lives like the final version. They don't waste time on things that don't matter. They don't say yes to things that drain their energy. They protect their time like it's precious, because it is. If someone asked you to watch their most valuable possession for a week, would you leave it just anywhere? Would you let just anyone handle it? Of course not. You'd guard it carefully. That's how successful people treat their lives, their days, their energy, their attention. And here's what surprised me about these 3 habits. They work backwards. Instead of building discipline, they eliminate the need for it. When you only do 1 minute, there's nothing to resist. When you have 1 clear priority, there's no decision-making fatigue. When you treat your time as irreplaceable, you'll stop wasting it automatically. And here's the insider psychology behind why these habits stick when everything else fails. The 1-minute rule works because your brain doesn't resist 1 minute. The one minute feels harmless. Every time you follow through, even for 60 seconds, you're proving to yourself that you're reliable. You become someone who does what they say they'll do. The morning question works because successful people know the difference between motion and progress. Motion is being busy. Progress is moving forward. Motion is answering 50 emails. Progress is sending the 1 email that matters. Treating your life as irreplaceable works because it changes how you make decisions. When you truly believe your time is irreplaceable, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. But here's where it gets very interesting. These 3 habits work for everyone, while the next 4 depend on who you are. Every guru tells you to wake up at 5 a.m., do a cold plunge, meditate, and drink green juice. But be honest, How many of us are really going to do that? Picture this morning routine. Your alarm rings like crazy at 5 a.m. You jump out of bed, you stumble to the kitchen, you choke down some bitter green juice you made the night before, and then you shock your body with freezing water. Sound appealing? Not to me. If you're forcing yourself into someone else's routine, you're setting yourself up for failure. Each person has their own rhythm. Some people bounce out of bed at 6 a.m. ready to conquer the world. Others don't even feel human until after 10 a.m. Some need everything planned to the very finest detail. Others feel suffocated by rigid schedules. Successful people don't fight their nature. They use it. Think about it. Would you tell a fish to climb a tree? Would you ask a bird to swim underwater? Of course not. So why do we try to copy someone else's habits exactly? Here's what I noticed about truly successful people. They don't follow the same routine. They follow the same principles. And those principles adapt to who they actually are. I watched a friend try to become a morning person, just like I spoke about earlier. For 2 years, she'd set her alarm for 6 a.m. every day, hit snooze until 7, and felt like a failure every morning. Then she stopped fighting biology and she started waking up at 9, and she did her most important productive work in the afternoon. That was when she was at her best. And here's what's strange. We know this intuitively about everything else. You wouldn't wear someone else's prescription glasses. You wouldn't take medicine meant for someone else's condition. But when it comes to habits, we assume one size fits all. So if you choose a habit that's wrong for your personality, you will quit for a week. That's the brutal truth. I've watched people force themselves into routines that didn't align with who they were for years, and they felt like failures every single day. While others who embraced their natural rhythm built empires. The difference, they stopped fighting who they are. And here's something that'll make productivity gurus mad. The 5 a.m. cold plunge crowd, they aren't more successful than the midnight Netflix crowd. They just use their energy differently. While everyone's obsessing over morning routines, half the world's most successful people are night owls, building empires after sunset. And if your brain lights up at dawn, attack your biggest challenge first thing. Skip the coffee, Instagram scroll. If your brain comes alive at 11 p.m., that's when you plan your next day, not when you mindlessly scroll TikTok. So stop apologizing for when your brain works and start using it to your advantage. And here's something else most people get wrong about successful people. They don't all take the same kind of risks. Calculated risk takers research everything before jumping. They study the market, run the numbers, have backup plans for their backup plans. Intuitive risk takers trust their gut and course correct as they go. They see an opportunity, feel it's right, and figure out the details while moving. Both build fortunes. Both change industries. Both avoid the biggest risk, doing nothing. The mistake is forcing yourself into the wrong risk style. If you're naturally calculated, don't try to just go for it because someone said you should. If you're naturally intuitive, don't over-research yourself into paralysis. And now here's a quick test, and let's be honest. When someone asks, want to grab a coffee sometime? Do you, 1, immediately check your calendar and suggest 3 specific times? 2, say, sure, I'll text you and figure it out later? If you pick number 1, you're a structured person. You time block everything, 9 a.m. deep work, 11 a.m. calls, 2 p.m. administration. Every minute of your day is planned out, and your brain loves this. It loves knowing what's next. And if you pick the second option, you love flexibility. That's what drives you. You follow your energy, not the clock. Feeling creative at 2 a.m., you create. Feeling social at 10 a.m., you network. Most people pick the wrong system and then wonder why habits feel like torture. And the last habit is to know your focus style. Deep focus people do one thing for hours without switching. Multi-focus people juggle multiple projects at the same time, and they thrive on variety. Both get things done. So stop forcing yourself into the wrong focus mode. You have two options. Keep fighting your nature and stay stuck, or work with who you are and finally move forward. The most successful people didn't become successful despite their personality. They became successful because they weaponized it. Here's what happens next. You have two paths ahead of you. Path number one, you close this video, feel motivated for about 2 hours, and then go back to whatever you were doing before. You'll watch other people build the life you wanted while you stay exactly where you are. Or option number two, you pick 3 habits that fit who you actually are. Habits that feel natural, not forced. You commit to them for 30 days and watch your life change. And a reminder, all 7 of these habits are in the description box below, so you can screenshot them and save them for later. And if you want to know how to live in the present, click on the video in the top right-hand corner. And don't forget, hit subscribe, like. Thanks for watching.